the same time, I'm gonna tell YouTube that you can suck a bag of dog dicks. Please do remember that the New Right Party channel and the New Red Party show is sponsored by patriots like you. And as long as you're sending these donations, it allows me to create the content that will continue to make these motherfuckers sick. As you were.
Versus the family and my family entertainment and his team no sleep. Flossy high and yeah we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul. Illuminati wanna take it. Versus the family and my family entertainment and his team no sleep. Flossy high and yeah we made it. The haters keep on hating on the songs that we be making, and I heard they want my soul. Illuminati wanna take it.
CEO, bullshit, paying for the pussy, I endorse it, riding through the city, that's my off. Damn cat would just jump out the window and kill herself if she could, man. She's fucking crazy, man. Trying to catch a bird. I wanted to say again, I'm sorry for the show being late. I'm sorry for YouTube being pieces of shit. I guess they really don't want me to do these shows, man. They better do something, because we about to launch this website and we about to get the fuck off of YouTube. So YouTube better figure it out. They better do something. Soon you're not gonna be able to stop this shit. Lady Loca, shout out to you. Hopefully we ready to get back everybody back in the building, man. I'm sorry that happened. I'm gonna let the channel pick back up so people know that I'm back on, and let it catch back up again. Currently, there's only 4 people watching. And it was like 70 views when they killed them, when they cut the feed. And 1142, shout out to you. Oh man. We got some fucking news, man. We got some news we're gonna get into. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. I ain't gonna hold y'all the fuck up. You know, I'm about to get into this shit right now. But first, we gotta see my lady Laura.
Ingram, and this is the Ingram Angle. Thank you so much for joining us. Elizabeth Warren is catching a little bit of heat for claiming Native American ancestry. The Cherokee Nation is out tonight with a statement slamming the Massachusetts senator. One of its members is here to sound off. Plus, while most pollsters think the Republicans will lose the House this November, a few are beginning to take a different view. One of them joins us tonight to explain. And violent Antifa mob seemingly running the streets of Portland, Oregon? A counter-protester is here with his first-hand account before Mark Furman explains how the city leadership is failing its people miserably. But first, Democrats peddle victimhood as a midterm strategy. That's the focus of tonight's angle. At some point in life, we all have to decide whether we want to be victims or victors. Do we want to be defined by slights and wrongs, ones that are perceived or real, that we suffer at the hands of others? 242 years ago, our forefathers made the decision that kind of sitting around bemoaning our fate under British rule wasn't going to get us anywhere. They decided to do something about it. We're a people who chose freedom and liberty, rooted in a sense of virtue over despair and hopelessness. And with courage, sacrifice, and an indomitable spirit and an abiding faith in God, we won our independence and eventually created the greatest country in the world. Powerful forces in today's Democratic Party, though, are at war with that fundamental understanding of the American story. In fact, many think the founding of our country was inherently corrupt and even illegitimate. And they've made a decision to run against that version of America. In the absence of an actual plan to grow American prosperity and keep us safe, Democrats are embracing victimhood as a political platform this midterm cycle. Democrat Stacey Abrams is running for governor in Georgia.
It isn't enough that white liberals are stealing all the funds from the cities and passing it back and forth to one another, and living in the lap of luxury while the regular blue-collar citizens don't have shit on a day-to-day basis. No. What they need to do is they need to find people they can make victims so they can turn you into someone so they can turn you into someone that needs a voice. You need a voice, all right? You need a voice that's going to tell your ass when the Democrats is coming so you know when to fucking run. See how on Friday they was like Debo, and then everybody started to fucking run? You need to be like Democrats, and everybody could just start fucking running and shit like that.
The miasma of fear that is created through voter suppression is as much about terrifying people about trying to vote as it is about actually blocking their ability to do so.
See? Now this fucking fat, black, ugly bitch gets to stand. I don't give a fuck who don't like it. I don't give a fuck who don't like it. Because this bitch is directly working with the right hand of white supremacy. This bitch is sitting there fucking regurgitating the same bullshit that every last one of the motherfuckers on that party regurgitates. No one in this bitch district is being held back from voting. Let's get to the numbers.
Now, what is she talking about? Voter registration has reached a record level in Georgia, and there was a 75% voter participation there in 2016. The average nationwide was only 55%. Abrams is selling fear, victimhood.
That's what she's
doing. And the idea of, illegal aliens voting?
The thing of it is, the blue wave is African American.
Yeah!
It's white, it's Latino, it's Asian Pacific Islander. It is made up of those who've been told that they are not worthy of being here. It is comprised of those who are documented and undocumented.
Whoa. Oh, wait a midnight train to Georgia here. Did you just catch that? Sounds like if Abrams had her druthers, illegal immigrants would indeed, or are part of the blue wave. In other words, be eligible to vote? How does that not dilute the legal votes of Americans?
How does she not disrespect every black woman by standing up there and advocating for a group of people that we all know in the black community don't give a fuck about us? How the fuck do you think legal immigrants feel seeing this bitch advocate for someone who went about doing shit the illegal way to get here, while people who've come here legally spent thousands of dollars, had to conform, learn English, and then some. Wait, struggle, get on a list, whatever it is they could to get here. And it's just a smack in the fucking face, everything that they went through, everything that they had to do in order to feel that pride of becoming an American. Because stupid bitches like this are just trying to get his shit up. Exclusive. I never in my fucking life heard of fucking Bugatti giving away fucking cars to people. Never in my life. Never. I've never heard or seen someone own a fleet of Bugattis and just lend them out to people so people can just take them shits and drive them around and do what they want to do with it. And you got motherfuckers, this bitch right here on my mother's life will never put a sign in front of her door saying all is welcome, free food, free stay, as long as you need. And she paid for it. But she's advocating for us to do this shit. Why? Why is she advocating? Because at the end of the day, she's not going to miss it. She's not going to see. She's taking money from us too. If we're paying them to lie to us, and they can go and then lobby and get paid by all these banks to get all of this money so they can live in a lap of luxury, they're not going to miss anything. While you and I struggle to continue to pay for motherfuckers who shouldn't even fucking be here.
Citizens of all colors and all backgrounds. But it gets worse up in Massachusetts, where a lot of my family's from, and where for years Elizabeth Warren has shamelessly peddled the idea that she is a Cherokee Indian.
So they're sucking rubber up into their nose.
The bitch knows.
Yeah, that's exactly
that she's not an Indian.
Pulling it out.
Children.
She knows she's not an Indian.
Can't be has walked by that.
And the sad shit is, this bitch is. I don't want to say it, man, but this bitch is pink as fuck, man. Okay, pink as fuck, blonde hair, blue eyes, pink as fuck, man. So not only did the Democrats come here, kill off the Native Americans, because they literally did kill off the Native Americans. That started with Andrew Jackson. So not only did they come up here and kill off the Native Americans, but now the Democrats are trying to appropriate their fucking identities. People, everywhere that you now stand, you rest, where your home is, where your house is, there were people that lived here prior to us. The people that lived here prior to us. They owned all of this shit. These people were fucking murdered. Murdered by fucking colonialists, by their own people, by the Spanish. It's not just the American Europeans that came over here and had a gripe with the Indians. The Spanish was over here too. Okay, the Louisiana Purchase was bought off of the Spanish, I believe, or the French, or one of them motherfuckers. So let's not just blame it on all the American forefathers. They were picked apart, and for them to receive such a fucking genocide to their fucking nation, and then to have this white Democratic bitch up here telling you, and with a straight face, that she's an Indian, it's a toe smack it's a toe smack in the face to all these fucking Native Americans.
Picture at least 1,000 times, remarked that her father, my papa, had high cheekbones like all of the Indians. Being Native American has been part of my story, I guess, since the day I was born.
Was she born?
She gets to lie like this. And listen, people, they literally get to do this shit in your face. This bitch just sat there and tried to seem like she was being as honest as possible. And they know why they're doing it. They're lying to you to gain power from you so they can throw that ass in ovens. This bitch is sick. This bitch is sick. White liberals are literally the fucking devil, man. I don't give a fuck what anybody got to say about it, man. You the devil. If you sitting there and you voting for this bitch, you the devil. If you sitting there wearing an I'm for Hillary shirt still, you are the devil. The devil. You're a racist devil. You're a xenophobe, a homophobe. You're a fucking racist, and you're a fucking devil. You're a fucking white, hateful devil. You're a black, hateful devil. You're a fucking Latino, hateful devil. You're a fucking Asian, hateful devil. As long as you're on a Democratic Party, you are racist, and you're a fucking devil. Period. You're no different from these white, sick motherfuckers that are doing this shit to you and then having you go outside so you can try to tell people to let them do it to us too.
In 1985, because I think that's when she was starting to tell the story. Anyway, Warren is trying to play the victim. After years of taking criticism for her Native American claims, Warren, with an eye on 2020, tried to get this all out of the way. She released an expensive video starring a DNA specialist.
What do the facts say?
The facts suggest that you absolutely have a Native American ancestor in your pedigree.
Okay. Some people have questioned my heritage and my...
Fuck this bitch. I want to tell somebody important in my life that I love. Shannon, from the New Right Party. I love you. And I want to say this to you live. Well, I can't. The world may say some mean things about us, but the world don't live where we live. They don't share the same bed that we share, and they don't have the same. They don't get to see the same. They don't get to have the same love that we do. To anyone that finds themselves attacking my lady on Instagram because they don't like my views, it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. Because currently there are Republicans, so-called conservatives, attacking me and my lady. When people ask me about what it is that I do, and why do I do it for people knowing that there are people on the right that are racist, or it's because it's their right. I know it sounds crazy, but it's their right. I don't have to like their rights to be an asshole, to be racist, or to say fucked up shit, or to try to say fucked up shit to shame. But I have an obligation to protect their rights. If you see a page and you see that they are attacking me, and there's nothing there that's true, that you can pinpoint and say it's true, then you need to flag the page. I shouldn't have my fiance bothered by things that people are saying on Instagram. She's a woman. So it doesn't matter who's on what side of the aisle. If you're a man saying it to her and you're not saying it to me, you a pussy. You're a pussy. You should look in the mirror and you should be ashamed of the bitch that pushed you out her pussy. If you're a female attacking her, you should be ashamed of yourself. Because you have the opportunity to actually talk to her and communicate with her so you can have an adult conversation. Either way, shape, or form, the shit is ridiculous. Shannon, I love you. We're going to get you some thicker skin. That ass is getting fatter.
Family history. Maybe they do it to insult me. Maybe they do it to distract from the kinds of changes I'm fighting for.
According to a DNA study,
according to her, the changes that she is fighting for are the changes that allow you to say that you are Indian when you're not. So you can use this status to further push your public, political, and career. She should be sued.
Analyzed by Stanford's Carlos Bustamante, who, by the way, works for 23andMe, the company, he's an advisor of that company. Warren is possibly 1,024th, which is 0.09% Native American. Okay? That's where the scale goes. It goes like from 0.09% to, I don't know, like everybody else. According to the New York Times, scientists say the average European American is 0.18% Native American. So that'd make Warren less Native American than the average European American. Wait a second. Oh, what the heck happened to liberal concerns about cultural appropriation? I guess that's out the window. Warren is kind of a typical Democrat, though, here. She's racially obsessed. And let's face it, that's just easier than being...
Because this is showing you pure white guilt. This bitch don't want to be white. You know, when I was a kid, man, I was the first kid in the projects to bring a white girl to the projects. I was 13 years old. I was round and round we go. I get that. So anyway, I was 13 years old, and a girl made a false claim against me, my godbrother who's deceased, and although he did some fucked up shit, and two older childhood friends of mine. She said that we raped her. She said that we raped her. This bitch said that we picked her up, 4 kids, picked up a girl, and she was like 15 at the time. I was like 13. I was 12, matter of fact. I was like 12. She was like 14, right? So a 12-year-old, two 12-year-olds, two 15-year-olds and a 14-year-old is being carried for blocks. This is a story she told. We carried her from New York City blocks. If you ever been to New York City and someone told you that they were carried for over 20 New York City blocks by kids and no one stopped them to help them, and they were dragged off of a bus when it happened, you would look at them like, So when we were going to court and she was saying it, I flipped the fuck out. They had to put me in Holliswood Hospital in Queens. They had me evaluated because I was ready to kill a judge and everything. Fuck are you talking about? What the fuck do you mean? Are you crazy? So I go there. They throw me in a padded room. Guys coming in with the, with the white things on, and I just did a scare straight. They just took me to scare straight, and the dude just jumped in my face. Popped off on him. He ain't gonna be in my face screaming and yelling, motherfucker. I was never one of them little bastards from Maury. Alright, he screamed in my face, I popped him. So now in my mind, these dudes is the same shit. So now they come in there, whatever. I took a swing at one dude, the dude weaved it, and they just jumped on me. Boom, took me to the ground. I fall pulling my pants down. I'm like, no, what are you doing? Next thing you know, they just, I thought some sexual shit was about that. I didn't fucking know, you know what I mean? Nigga stabbed me in the ass with a needle. Poop. My ass nod off. Now I'm knocked the fuck out, sleep. I wake up, God knows how much longer later, and it was this pretty little white girl looking in the window, and she was like, are you okay? Me and her are still friends to this day. Friends since I was 13 years old, but she was my first white girlfriend. I remember bringing her to the hood, and everybody was in awe of this white girl. She was beautiful. I mean, beautiful, perky body, everything. She was absolutely amazingly gorgeous, right? And she didn't want to be white. She wore a chain on her neck. Back in the days, they used to take beads, like, the hair beads, the colored beads, and they used to make flags out of them, American flags, flags of ethnic backgrounds. And I'm Puerto Rican and black. She had a Puerto Rican flag on her neck. And she used to always say that I think her mom was Puerto Rican, or her father, or one of them was Puerto Rican. They were Italian. They were Italian like a motherfucker. But this is the first example I've seen of white guilt. Because the Democrats have made it uncool to be white whenever they feel like it's time to create that environment. It's sad that women like this got to come up. And not her, but women like this, meaning women that are ashamed of their ethnicity and then they want to be something else, and they're jumping to be something else. And a ton of black women do it every single day when they're lightening up their skin and putting in color contacts and the blonde hair. And we know there are all black people who get blonde hair and who have different color eyes, and I get it all, but there aren't black people who are dark as fuck and then put in bleaching cream to bleach their whole fucking face lighter, and then their hands are still black as charcoal. You gotta be real, and you gotta call the shit out for what it is. These people have created a very, very sick climate. It's okay to be gay. There's nothing wrong with being gay. That's something you're doing in your bedroom, people. That is something that you're doing in your bedroom. These people have forced you to adapt to a flag, to identify what you're doing in your bedroom. When you can dress however you want to look. If it looks weird to people, they're just going to look at you like you're weird anyway. Doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter. But the environment that these people created for Americans, when you turn on the TV and you start to watch it, you become depressed. The television is telling you that you're not woman enough, you don't have enough energy, or you're not man enough, you don't have enough energy. If you're a woman, it's telling you your hair's not full enough, it's not long enough, it doesn't have enough bounce, it doesn't smell enough. And if you're a man, they're telling you that somehow you could be losing your hair and maybe you may need this product. There's always something there that they target your insecurities with, not your needs, people. When you're turning on the television and you're watching these commercials are targeting your insecurities. How often do you get up and go to the mirror and look at yourself and say, damn, I made it very far. I'm great. I'm doing great things for myself. I'm proud of myself. The majority of you don't. The majority of Americans go to the mirror and they say, damn, I got to pay this bill. Damn, I wish I could change this about myself. Or I don't like my chin. Or I don't like how my ears are poking out. But none of them are never thinking about how far they made it. They have removed the accolades from the individuals that are actually providing for people. And they are giving the accolades to the people that are not providing for the people. They are putting people on high pedestals that are attacking people, that are belittling people, that are telling people that they are not worthy. While those that are scholars, while those that are excelling, while those that are actually helping our countries and their communities and doing the diligent work needed to build this bridge, to have everyone that feels divided feel included again, these individuals are being swept under the rug. I say a lot of foul shit on this show, but about motherfuckers who deserve to have some shit said about their ass. Who gives me the right to be the guy that gets to say it? I'm the guy that they're trying to sell the fuck out. That's why I get to say it. That's what gives me the right to say it. And it's because I have proof in knowing that I'm being sold the fuck out that I get to call this bitch a bitch. I get to call this bitch a devil. Because she actually is. Irrefutable evidence.
Factually informed. And worse, she's willing to scam the system, in this case, play an Indian to get a boost professionally or, in this case, politically.
1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indians. 4 little, 5 little, 6 little Indians. 7 little, 8 little, 9 little Indians. 10 little Indians home.
And to add insult to injury, her DNA specialist, Carlos Bustamante, flatly admitted that he didn't even use Native American samples for the test. Seriously? Well, to make up for the lack of those samples, he used ones from Mexico, Peru, and Colombia. Keep this up, and Warren's going to be claiming that she's more Latina than Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez by 2020.
Do you understand?
Well, speaking of Latinos, a new migrant caravan from Central...
But what I did disclose to you was that guy who did the test did have some knowledge, because if he did test Mexicans are Native Americans. Mexico is America. And California once was Mexico. It's a fact. It was part of Mexico. But Mexico wasn't called Mexico. That wasn't the name of it. It was conquered by the Spaniards. So when these people tell you about a culture that has something, what they're not telling you is the truth. It all was fucked up. And when we founded, when the nation was founded, it was still going through its early development, as any young nation would. No one is perfect. Yo, we had a fucked up past. Get over it. Get over it. You keep talking about slavery. You want to keep using this race shit. You need to be sucking a lot of Republican dick then. Because the reason why your punk asses get to say this shit is because of the Republican Party. Let's grow up. Let's move forward. Let's stop being victims to crimes that happened when we weren't even alive. Let's start being patriots, and let's start standing up for the motherfuckers that's trying to make us victims now. To the ancestors of the motherfuckers that made our ancestors victims. Let's stop it now. The next time one of these motherfuckers stab you and hand you a Band-Aid, make sure you stab their ass back. Make sure your ass vote red when it come time to stab their ass.
America, the second in 6 months, is now headed up through Mexico to the United States this week.
Hey, you know why YouTube want to stop me? YouTube want to stop me because unlike a lot of my great patriots that are black and that are fighting for our rights, this street nigga here got a lot of pull in the streets, man. The one thing I can guarantee President Trump, come Turning Point USA, when we get there, is that I will give him the streets. And when he do what he's about to do, it's over for that Democratic Party and the black vote. I'm going to show you better than I tell you.
It already has 1,600 members. Naturally, Democrats have started their old narrative about Trump separating families at the border. If only they had the same concern for Americans brutally victimized by illegals here in the United States. In the last few weeks, 2 illegals have committed vicious rapes just in the New York area. One, Ever Martinez Reyes, followed a Nassau County woman home, knocked her out, and repeatedly raped her for about an hour. Then...
Do you hear this? New York, do you hear this? Do you honestly think that New York is going to stand for this shit? And once the numbers come out of how many illegal fucking aliens are actually in New York City raping women, you know you done fucked up now, right? You know you done fucked up now, right? When New York City...
And there's Julio Ayala. He's thought to be a member of MS-13, and Ayala broke into the bedroom of an 11-year-old girl he did not know and raped her on a bunk bed with her brother below them. Meanwhile,
And then, to add insult to injury, we gotta pay for this bastard to eat and sleep and live. And even after he's convicted, we have to pay for him to eat, sleep, and live. This fuckboy will be in a jail, and his charges won't matter to his clique. I'm on the phone with my sister. I give me a minute. I'm on the phone. Hold on, people. I'm sorry. Y'all give me a minute. I'm talking to Candace Owens. We're having a real big conversation right now. Just give me 1 second. I'll play this.
Hear almost nothing on that story, those stories, or so many more like them from Democrats who at the same time agonize over non-citizens overwhelming our Border Patrol. When Leslie Stahl tried to melt hearts with her family separation narrative last night, the president set her straight.
Are you willing to reinstitute that policy? You said we're looking at everything. Yes,
I will only.
or no?
You can't say yes or no. What I can say is this: there are consequences from coming into a country, namely our country, illegally.
I'm not going to ask it again.
You don't have to.
Okay.
But it's the same as Obama.
Well, Donald Trump has exposed the fraudulent nature of the left's weak arguments and their weaker narratives. There is a sudden bounce. You felt it in that 60 Minutes interview last night. The left is fuming that 60 Minutes actually aired the interview. Check out the blogs. But he has that extra bounce in his step, in a sense that his party is now on the rise again. Following the Kavanaugh battle, you would have thought, though, that the Democrats might have gotten the message that victimhood for political gain is not a great strategy. It won't work, and it hasn't. And the good news is the Republicans may have finally found their groove. They're out selling the peace, prosperity, and security agenda that Trump won on and is delivering on. I don't know. In the end, I think most Americans are just smart enough to see that victimhood is a dead end, personally and.
Sorry, people, hold on.
Woods.
Politically. And that's the angle. Joining me here in studio, former Trump deputy campaign manager Dave Bossie and University of Maryland lecturer Jason Nichols. Jason was chomping at the bit, and I want him to go right at this. Jason, here's what, and we'll start with Elizabeth Warren. I think Elizabeth Warren, and you go back to the Harvard faculty, where she's described as a premier minority hire at the Harvard Law School. I'm thinking if you're trying to pass yourself off as a Cherokee Indian, and you had to get a guy from 23andMe who's a paid advisor to that company, do this goofy Hallmark video well, yes, you are part Cherokee. And then the Cherokee Nation tonight says the following. The Cherokee Nation says using a DNA test to lay claim to any connection to the Cherokee Nation or any tribal nation, even vaguely, is inappropriate. And
I'm sorry, y'all. I just had to tell Candace and tell Kanye that Shannon need a size 6 in sneakers, and I need a size 9.5. Turning Point USA is about to be crazy, people.
Wrong. Senator Warren is undermining tribal interests with her continued claims of tribal heritage. She was trying to play the victim card, and she got exposed.
I don't think she was necessarily trying to play the victim card. I think
what was she doing?
She was trying to say that she has Native American ancestry, which is very different than saying you are Native American. And I think now she's moved beyond saying she is Native American. She was just saying she has Native American ancestry. Look, I have British ancestry. I would never claim.
I'm going to be on CRTV. What was the brother's name again from CRTV? Gavin McGinnis. I keep forgetting. I'm not good with names, Gavin, so don't be mad at me, brother. I do watch your show, and I love you to death. I'm gonna have Candace on soon too. People, listen. I don't think y'all understand, right? You got people who got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. They don't have Miss Juanita Broderick. They don't have the Angel Moms. They don't have Brandon Tatum. They don't have Uber Guy. You know, my whole thing is I'm trying to say is that it doesn't matter to what scale that you are when it comes to being a patriot. I am going to have you involved. And what it shows is that if someone as big as Brandon Tatum, you know, and Candace knows about my platform and they're reaching out and everything else, if they are, right, I'm going to tell you something. Everyone else out there knows about me too. Not going to say no names. I'm not going to do none of that. All that shit is fraud shit. But you know about me. If you haven't reached out to me as a real patriot, then to me it's just all fraud and you're doing it for the clout. You're not doing it to actually get the word out, because I could give a fuck about who got more subscribers than me. That shit don't mean nothing. That shit never meant anything to me. I just know what the fuck I gotta do. That's it.
To be British, you know, so I think that's
because
what
you have integrity.
His haircut is fucked up, boy. What the fuck happened to this dude's hair, man? Somebody just disrespected this boy. Fucked up this boy's whole haircut, man. Just like they fucked up his whole mind state. Size 6, right? I just had to show Shannon just now and let her read, you know, everything. But this boy haircut fucked all the way up. His shit is ridiculously destroyed. Oh my fucking God. And then they did the same shit to his soul, the same shit to his spirit, and then to continue with the dumb shit, they just doubled down. No, nigga. This bitch used that shit on applications and everything that she fucking could to move forward with saying that she was fucking Native American. Not only did this bitch say she was Native American, she said that it's in her bloodline. And then she used that shit to further her fucking career. dumbass. Who the fuck let Arsenio Hall little brother on fucking Tucker Carlson's show? I think Tucker be doing this shit because he know this nigga's a dummy. You smart as fuck, Tucker. I like you even more now.
No, I mean, you have integrity, and you would never.
I'm sorry. I thought this was Tucker. I'm so used to fucking watching Tucker, I forgot it was Laura. Laura went and got this dumbass nigga because she seen how stupid he looks on fucking Tucker Carlson's show.
I do that because you don't have to pass yourself off as something that you're really not. So you get an edge on someone else who might be applying for the same job, but they want to check a box that they've hired a Native American.
First of all, there's
you wouldn't do that.
But Laura, there's no evidence that she had.
He's smiling because he knows he has to go around this and still lie.
Had any kind of bump in terms of her career because she had Native American ancestry.
You don't think Elizabeth Warren has received any
There's someone in his ear, in that earpiece in his ear, giving him a spin. The one thing I will not allow these people to do is to put an earpiece in my ear. Nope. Somebody's going to have to give me some hand gestures so I can see them. Can't.
Special plaudits or consideration by being labeled a minority.
No evidence of it.
She's listed. Why is if she gets no benefit from it, why is that her calling card?
I think she, like many European American friends of mine, believe.
Wait, do you call people European American?
I don't, but I can tell you this. If I say white, I'm going to get people saying, "Oh, you're racist."
You're not.
You hate white
I don't care. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I know it doesn't matter to you, but Twitter's a different story.
All right, I got to get Bossy in on this. Bossy, look, if I were a Democrat at this point, I'd just be throwing Elizabeth. I mean, if I were a Democrat, I'd say, look, Elizabeth Warren has some great qualities. This, sadly, was a big mistake, and she should just go back to issues because she actually connects on some of them.
There's another reason that Democrats should be annoyed with Elizabeth Warren, and that's 22 days before a midterm election, you make today's focus about yourself. How selfish and 2020 presidential campaign is this focused on today? This is a ridiculous thing for her to have brought up. To begin with, she did try to use this as a vehicle to get ahead in her life, whether it was on her resume or at Harvard. It's an embarrassment to her and to the party, and they have nothing to run on, no agenda, and that's why they do things.
She said in one interview, we won't play it because I don't have time, but she said, my mom and dad were very much in love, and they wanted to get married. My father's parents said, absolutely not, because she's part Cherokee and Delaware. After fighting it, they eloped. I guess. She's now a Delaware, too. I didn't even know that until I saw that. Like, I know we all have to do our 23andMe because we probably have some cool stuff in our backgrounds that I want to play.
I'm going to find out how French I am. I won't like it.
Okay, I want to play.
You see how that nigga had to stop lying for the bitch? He couldn't even say anything anymore. The only thing he could do was open his fucking mouth to fucking smile.
Hey, no, Jason, I want to play because Donald Trump did mention $1 million if she could present some evidence, right? Well, he was asked about this today on the South Lawn of the White House, taking off for Florida. Let's watch.
Senator Warren released some of her DNA results that show a strong likelihood that she does have Native American roots.
How much? 1,000?
Do you owe her an apology? What about the money that
I owe her? She owes the country an apology. What's the percentage? 1,000?
I don't have the exact numbers.
Tell me when you have the percentage. Tell me what the percentage.
What about the money that you told her you would?
You mean if she gets the nomination in a debate where I was going to have her tested? I'll only do it if I can test her personally. Okay, that will not be something I enjoy doing either.
Okay, I don't know what exactly that means, but I think it was.
He doesn't want to waste his fucking money paying for the bitch to get her blood drawn when he know the bitch is not a fucking Native American.
Someone put out a tweet saying, "Well, he should give her 1/1000."
Yeah, it's $977.
$6,
and it should go to a charity.
Wait, hold on. She did not make the claim that she was 100% Cherokee Indian.
I know, but
I agree that this was a big mistake.
Yes.
And this was absolutely
this
a mistake.
This is why I like Jason, because
at some point it's like
you
look like a straight
jackass.
No
As somebody who served in the Reagan administration for 8 years and had, I think, the highest clearance when I was chief of staff to the Attorney General, I had no idea when you walk out the door and you're done in government, you get to keep it. I don't remember that. I wasn't read into programs after that. I didn't have to take lie detector tests after that. You go out the door, you're out the door, and that's the end of that. Apparently not. Apparently, if you worked in the Obama administration, you think you have a right to this for the rest of your life. You can call the president a traitor, treasonous, and get jobs at CNN and MSNBC, and all is well and good. But all is not well and good. And Rand Paul was right to call out Brennan and Clapper and the rest. If the president is right, I hope he pulls their ticket. We need to review it. There's nothing to review.
Want to see more? Sign up for Levin TV.
She should not have done this.
When she sticks on some of the issues, she actually can connect on some, and she's more populist than a lot of the other Democrats. She can connect. This isn't an area. Again, that's I go back to my point. Playing the victim. It's just not cool. You're not a victim. You're a woman who has ideas.
I think she's putting herself in Trump's arena too. Like she's playing by his
trying
rules.
to, but
she's trying to mistake Obama made,
and that's for 2020.
Released his
not for 20.
All right, we got to get to this. We got to get to this issue in Georgia with Stacey Abrams arguing about voter suppression, which can be a potent argument on the campaign trail if people are led to believe that they really can't register to vote, or people are trying to keep them from that. Civil rights lawsuit filed on the 11th of October. Dave Bossie. Was this a mistake by Brian Kemp or?
Well, first of all, it's not Brian Kemp's law. He's the Secretary of State, so he's the person.
He was in favor of it.
He has discretion.
I understand that, but it's not his law. He didn't just make it. He can't just undo it. So it's not about Brian Kemp. This is more politics of destruction and separating people.
Who do they use to further destroy you? The people that they destroy. The main female, the black female, the liberals use the black female as a tool to destroy everything that they can, because you cannot say anything to her because then you're a racist, you're a sexist. There's a reason why you're going to see an influx in them when it comes to this political party. It will turn around and fuck around and become a political party only full of women. And a bunch of simps sitting there allowing them to say the dumb shit that they say.
Well, trying to make people angry, trying to get them revved up for the election. And that's all this is. And people will see through it. Look, people in Georgia want law and order. They want to be safe and secure. They want a good economy, and they want jobs for themselves to be able to raise their children and educate their children and take care of their families. That's what they want. This is just more. She doesn't have a campaign to run on. Good policy.
Yeah, Jason, real quick. What this law does is it tries to match licenses to voter registration. They say the concern is ballots aren't going to be thrown out. They become provisional ballots until they're verified. They do have a lot of dead people on rolls. They have a lot of people who are listed twice in various precincts. They're trying to match people to people. That's not a bad idea. It's a problem if it disparately affects people. I think that could be a problem. But I think it's a little bit of a scare tactic to say it's preventing people from voting. Not really. I think most people can fill out their forms without a problem, correct?
True, but the exact match, you can't have, say, you have Laura Ingram, and Laura Ingram, they're going to be like, that's not an exact match. So again, one of the things that's happened is that, 53,000 Georgians are in a precarious situation. 70% of them are African American. This harkens back to an era when in Georgia, when African American votes were not.
Okay, so now I'm glad that we broke this down and said this. Is Georgia a Democratic state? If all of these things happen and it's being ran by a Democratic state, who caused the fucking problem in the first place? Wait. If Georgia is a fucking liberal state, and this is a problem in a liberal state, who's responsible for the problem? Wait. It's a problem that they started. And now it's a problem that they want to argue about that needs fixing, when it's a problem that they started. This woman isn't saying this is a problem that we started and I'm going to fix it. She's trying to make it seem like it's Republicans that did it. It's not a conservative state. There are currently men in high heels with pocketbooks walking hand in hand in the mall while people try to take their children school shopping. I wouldn't consider that conservative. And again, I have no quarrels against what you do in your bedroom, but I just think certain things around children shouldn't be done around children. And the whole point that you don't care because you think that it's okay doesn't make it okay, because these are children that we're talking about. And no child should be exposed to anything sexual and or perverse while they're out with their family. I mean, being flamboyantly gay doesn't make you perverse. There are things that we know that what we're talking about. There are things that people do out in public. I've already said on this show, there are things that, you know, when I'm with Shannon, we're touchy-feely, but we're definitely looking around for children because we do not touch each other in provocative ways while children are around.
I think voter registration among all groups is way up, though. I mean, that's a good thing. It was up in 2016. Turnout was huge. We want people voting, so I think it has to be fair and it has fairly administered. You guys are both great.
Look at that. Laura, shut this nigga with the worst haircut I've ever seen on Fox 5. Damn. Damn. Democrats got that boy tanked. He know not to say shit back to that white woman. Hold on, it's my mama. Hey, what's up? I'm live.
I know, I can think you like. Wait, hold on. What you got on?
Road.
Oh. Wait a minute. What kind of road is that?
The Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's what it looks like. All right, so when should I call you back?
I'm gonna call you back when I'm done.
Yes, sir. Okay.
I love you.
I love you too.
I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta answer the phone for my mom, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta answer the phone for your ladies, man. I got 3 moms, so I'm fortunate. She is. I think she probably watching this. They probably watched the show and they probably like, this fool was up there with the Night Before Christmas robe on talking right now.
Love having on. Thank you, gentlemen. Just 3 weeks until the midterms, and most pollsters predicting that the Democrats, of course, will wrestle the House from the GOP. But some notable people are saying maybe it.
No, I don't think so either.
Different path forward. GOP pollster John McLaughlin is here saying that Republicans may just keep control of the House. He joins us now. John, thanks so much for being here. Now, why do you think the GOP, all the predictions are, they could be wiped out or they could lose, the majority by several at the very least? So why would they have a chance to hold the House in your mind?
Well, because of President Trump. There's 63 million Trump voters out there who can't afford health care.
But isn't
they listen.
Parties trying to excite their base to get.
That's the thing. What they're doing is they're making it seem as if the people that came out and crushed the buildings for Trump and voted for him aren't going to come out and do the same. The same way they counted us out when we elected them. That's all the Democrats are doing. The numbers are lies. I've never seen one poll done by CNN, MSNBC that was accurate when it comes to President Trump. It's a fact. If you go to any social media and you put in any hashtags that are for Trump, like if you put in MAGA or you put in blacks for Trump, and then you put in blacks who hate Trump, you'll see that there's always more people for Trump than there are against Trump. We've done it on the show already. I mean, I don't got to do it right now. I was about to
get more of their base out. So the Democrats are trying to get the anti-Trump vote out, and we're trying to get the Trump voters out. And the Kavanaugh Supreme Court fiasco was really about a Democrat effort to suppress our vote. What they really wanted the president to do was
shout out to Primus81 for the donation, and shout out to Ricky Coop for the donation. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support, people. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Was to either withdraw it or the Republicans not give them the votes to get passed. And if that had happened, millions of Trump voters would have stayed home. So what's happened, it's backfired on them. Even ABC today has a battleground poll saying the Republicans are up one in the generic ballot in the 66 targeted districts that are most contested in the House. So what you've got is you've got Nancy Pelosi, who's really unpopular. In our September survey, she had a 55% unfavorable rating, only 30% favorable. The Republicans, to win, all they have to do is run a campaign to say, we have to stop Nancy Pelosi and her colleagues from giving us open borders, raising taxes, killing jobs, government-run health care.
But isn't at the same time, colleges and universities, they are registering huge numbers of young people to vote. There's an enormous amount of money, smartly, I think, by the left, pouring into communities in Florida. We're going to get into this a little bit later on, trying to turn the vote. You got Javier Munoz, excuse me.
And all of this money that they wasting is going to, listen, the Republican Party's biggest mistake is they are not getting involved with the inner cities, and not just blacks, but more minorities. And they are not using more celebrities that are minorities and not just black, Latino, and alike to speak up for the Republican Party. The left is doing it. Why aren't the right doing it? We need to do it. We definitely need to do it. Definitely. And then you have people who are like people like David Chappelle, right? Who, even though he may not agree with you, he's still someone that we can actually red pill. He's someone who's willing to listen. And if anyone is willing to listen, then you can red pill them. If you can't red pill someone who's listening to you, who really wants to hear what it is you have to say, then maybe, that's not your thing. You know what I mean? And that's cool. It doesn't have to be. You feel me? But if I get a chance to talk to someone that's really willing to listen with an open heart, when they walk away from that conversation, they're gonna walk away different. See, the thing about the Republican Party is, because it started in such a way, we get to make sure that we press the people that speak for us to be this way and not to deviate from where it started. The Democrats don't have that ability, because if they do, then it would clearly show oppression. If Republicans push the issue of what true conservatism is, and they go to the heart of it, and they continue to express it, and they tell people honestly, and have successful minorities that are for the Republican Party up there telling you, people like Kanye, saying that the reason why we have the right to say the things we're saying right now is because of the Republican Party. And if there was anything that, if we had to compare any of the senators that we have currently to anything, it would be to those that nominated Lincoln. That's a high regard. Any man choosing to be a Republican and represent this nation has a big task at hand. And you need help. You need help. They're donating tons of money, and I don't see the Republican Party really pouring any real money into having a bunch of buses out there like that. Now, I'm not going to lie, for Turning Point USA, 300 speakers, this is a big event. This is going to be super huge. So, I mean, they went above and beyond, you know, for us for this, but let's also focus on getting some notable celebrities in there. You do have people that are for Trump. Shaquille O'Neal, Mike Tyson, Tony X. No, seriously, jokes aside, you have celebrities that have come out for Donald Trump. Herschel Walker just spoke up. We need more American heroes standing up and telling you that this is un-American. Everything the left is doing currently is the most un-American thing you could fucking think of. And the only reason why blacks are even outside in the first place dealing with them is because the left has taught them to hate a country because they themselves are the ones that were oppressing them the whole entire time they were in this country.
Pushing Puerto Rican voter registration in Florida. Yep. I mean,
I'm just looking for one condemnation. You animals. So we were at the Texas State Democrat Convention taping a 4th of July themed Change My Mind to be released on July 2nd when we noticed a familiar face. It's Firebomb Lady. That's the girl who posted our location in Austin precisely and called for people to firebomb our car. And then doubled down with a second post for additional domestic terrorism context. So I decided to confront her.
Hey, kids.
How are you today? Quick question for you. Why would you encourage people to firebomb my van? Why would you do that?
You know, if Antifa is going to be at Turning Point USA, it's going to be a bunch of black people there, right? Do you honestly think that it's going to be smart for them? It's going to be over 300 black people there. Let me say this again. At Turning Point USA, there will be over 300 black people there. At least 200 black men. That would be the wrong place for Antifa to be. And I pray to God that they do show up. I think that would be the greatest thing Antifa could do for the conservative movement. And where some brothers are going to walk past them, some brothers are going to be like me. And it's going to be a lot more than 200 brothers that's going to be feeling this way. Because a lot of sisters is going to be with the shits too. Do not be fooled.
That. Do you think that's appropriate to encourage people to firebomb my van and hurt my crew when we're just expressing a difference of opinion?
I don't want people to vote, but my point is, if you sell this idea of victimhood and fear, or do you sell peace and prosperity? Is it fairness over victimhood, peace, prosperity, safety? I think the Republicans have to stay on the agenda that Trump set out in 2016.
Look, in the Trump campaign, Donald was wonderful when the president went after Hillary Clinton. He never backed down. He was the right person to chase her on the issues, to challenge her on corruption, to challenge her on her vision of America versus his. Yeah. And he didn't back up on trade or immigration when all the elites and the know-it-alls in Washington told him you can't talk about those things. He went right for it. And what's going on right now is there's Republicans that are embracing him, like Ted Cruz is up in the polls in Texas.
Yeah, they can't back up. The Never Trumpers, the Ben Sasses, right, and the Jeff. I mean, that's a losing strategy. We're going to be watching. Love your input. We'll have you back right before the midterms. Democrats want you to think they're the great protectors of women in the workplace, but is that true? Hillary Clinton's.
You know what Hillary Clinton said. You know what that.
Well, Democrats claim to hold the high ground as champions of women in the workforce until they're involved. Well, the latest example comes via Hillary Clinton, who had this to say about her husband's affair with White House intern Monica Lewinsky.
In retrospect, do you think Bill...
Heard what that bitch had to say. Same shit over and over and over again.
All political differences, how they have no vision for the country, fanning flames of violent protesting and lying to you, the American people, purposefully. Alec Baldwin wants to overthrow the U.S. government. Robert De Niro calling the president the devil. Bernie Sanders refusing to condemn violent protesters.
You got Robert De Niro, a white man, calling Trump the devil. What qualifies Robert De Niro to say that? It's because he has a black wife, and I believe he has kids with her. He might have some black kids. Biracial or whatever the fuck. Robert De Niro is like 70 years old. He's old as fuck. And this is another motherfucker that is dumb as hell. He knows about Weinstein. He knows about Clinton. He's not stupid. These people, man.
Meanwhile, in Massachusetts, far-left Senator Elizabeth Warren, who once identified as a minority Native American professor, well, she released the results of her DNA test. She's not. We'll explain. And a brand new undercover video from Project Veritas exposing Missouri Senator Claire McCaskill that we will show you exclusively, and her far-left views on everything from the Second Amendment to impeaching the president and how she's trying to hide it all. Also, Hillary Clinton busy defending her husband from allegations of sexual misconduct. All of this and breaking news from Saudi Arabia. Pastor, he is basically a...
They really get paid to skateboard.
So sick.
Imagine if that was us.
A vote for Chuck Schumer. Take a look.
Claire McCaskill, caught on tape.
If we do our job in St. Louis County, I can give up a few votes in the boot heel.
Listen again.
I can give up a few votes in the boot heel.
No wonder Claire McCaskill votes against your gun rights, against agriculture, and against conservative judges like Brett Kavanaugh.
I can give up a few votes in the boot heel.
Claire McCaskill has given up on you.
I'm Josh Hawley, and I approve this message.
And give up a few votes. Oh, okay. And we have even more shocking developments to report out of Arizona. Remember last week, we first showed you Democratic Senate hopeful Kristen Sinema once called the people of her state and her state the meth lab of democracy. In 2011, she's in Texas. She's speaking, calling her fellow Arizonans that she now wants to vote for her, calling them crazy. She also promoted events at Arizona State University featuring a lawyer who represented the blind sheikh who was under a federal investigation. Blind sheikh convicted of the 1995 bombing, mastermind of terrorist plots against the United States. And tonight we're learning a new bizarre story about an anti-war rally also organized by Sinema, where she was summoning, not making this up, Washington Examiner, go check it out yourself, to witches. Yeah, witches, to reclaim the tradition of feminist witchcraft against the Iraq War. Her opponent, Martha McSally, was defending her country. And despite Sinema's unusual and, frankly, seedy past, this race is very much up for grabs. War hero Martha McSally has now jumped out to a thin lead, but it's a close race. Meanwhile, in Missouri, Claire McCaskill, who you just saw featured in the latest Project Veritas video, is also in an extremely tight race, all winnable, this case against Republican Josh Hawley. It's important to remember, McCaskill enthusiastically voted against Kavanaugh, against due process, against the presumption of innocence. And in Nevada, we have Republican Dean Heller. He's now opened up a significant lead, 7 points. That is an important race, getting him reelected. But New York... this weekend, and a bunch of anarchists go to the New York, I guess, GOP club, Republican club, whatever it happens to be, and they're writing, they're committing vandalism, anarchist signs that they're putting up, etc., and then there's a confrontation on the streets there. That's not what the media says. They don't tell the whole story. They get it wrong in the beginning, kind of pissed off that I even for a second believed half of what they wrote. And this is coming from the left, the radical left. But look at Alec Baldwin, the lowest ratings in the history, basically, of any network television. It's never been that low. Or Michael Moore's movie failing. Is this going to translate to the ballot box in 22 days?
Well, Sean, we're already seeing some of the results of that. I mean, you covered it at the beginning of your show. Missouri, North Dakota. We're even seeing a race closing in Michigan. You know, John James, an insurgent candidate with an unbelievable
John
resume.
James is a rock star. Love him.
He's a stud. I love him. He's great. His videos are terrific. We're already seeing it happening, Sean. But just 2 quick points on this. Number one, the left's religion is state power. That's their religion. When they lose state power, they have nothing to fall back on. I'm not talking about all Democrats. I'm talking about the radical left. They are socialists. Their religion and a genuflect at the altar of state power. When they lose it, they erupt. This is what happens.
This is fascinating too. But you know how they lied and they disseminated the false information, Dan. Remember, all the phony dossiers leaked before the election. Then it was used to set up the whole Mueller investigation. The pieces are all coming together. But Maxine Waters even revealed, they keep saying to me, don't say it. Don't say it. We'll do it, but don't say it. Now, the Center for American Progress, John Podesta's group, they're now out there saying, don't talk about immigration. Don't tell people what you really want to do. So for them to win, they got to lie and hide who they really are. That's a pretty revealing instance. And then we have the tape of McCaskill and Bredesen.
But, hey, Sean, I'll tell you, the interesting thing is you look at a candidate like Kristen Sinema out in Arizona that has called the people of Arizona crazy. She talked about she is all of these tapes start unraveling about her talking about it being okay to join the Taliban. She's calling her own constituents
the media is ignoring it.
The media is ignoring it because the media is against you. They're all against you. They're not for you. We are now living in dangerous times. The New World Order is calling in debts. They even made the Fed raise interest rates. I'm not afraid. Are you afraid? I'm ready. Are you ready? Good. I want to shout out everybody in the building. I don't know why this shit is froze over here. Let me see anything. But I want to shout out to everybody that's in the building, all my moderators. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think that
Look what Andy McCarthy.
I think I'm going to open up the phone lines. I'll let them rock for a second.
He did in the blind.
I'm going to use the bathroom, come right back, and then I'm opening up the phone lines.
Shake case. Lynn Stewart.
But there's a double standard. How they cover the right and how they cover the left. And the reality is that these folks are trying to cover up the reality. All they want to do is talk about the style and substance of Donald Trump. They can't talk about the agenda and they can't talk about the results because whether it's economic policy or foreign policy, the president's getting things done, and they know they can't beat what he's getting done.
I see things moving in the right direction in the Senate, Sean Spicer, but the House, it's too hard to tell. I've been identifying 10 races tonight that will tip the balance of power. Sean?
Yeah, it's getting close.
Yeah, but do you think, you think it's closer, but are you confident that the House remains in Republican hands?
No, I'm not. Until people get out there and realize what a big difference Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters, Adam Schiff, the whole lot of them are going to be versus they stopped the Trump agenda dead in their tracks. People need to understand, November, this agenda is on the ballot. You need to get out and vote.
I will say this. If you vote, anybody that votes for Nancy, for a Democrat, you're voting for Nancy. If you vote in the Senate,
that's right,
for a Democrat, you're voting for Chuck. You're voting for their lies and hidden agenda. You're right. There's a lot at stake. All right. Thank you both. When we come back, Kristen Fisher in Washington, the latest on the missing Saudi journalist and Elizabeth Warren's, big DNA test. Later, we have a big announcement. It's a great announcement. You're going to love it. That's straight ahead. All right, joining us now with the very latest on the growing backlash from Senator Warren's so-called DNA test, as well as the continuing developments regarding the disappearance of the journalist, Fox News Washington correspondent Kristen Fisher. Watching both of these stories, this is getting very strange because I wonder if the president was lied to by the Saudis, and it's hard to believe that, in fact, this journalist Khashoggi was, in fact, killed and nobody knew at the top. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, Sean, there's just so many questions about it, and that's one of the main reasons that the Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, is, of course, on his way to Saudi Arabia to try and figure out firsthand what exactly happened. So that's one story that we're watching tonight. And then the other one is, of course, Senator Elizabeth Warren, who's...
People say my sound or style or the look of me, you know, really changed the way hip-hop was, like, accepted. Before I came in, it wasn't as friendly or as positive. I always looked at as like a weirdo and awkward. You know, but now I feel like hip hop is a lot more accepting and positive. It's like in 90s fashion, less people cared what you wore in the 90s, you know, like you had more free will. People were more comfortable with being themselves.
Thank you. I am back.
Now,
I am
people
back.
are just different, you know, whether it's colorful hair or
receiving just a lot of pushback for these for releasing those DNA test results, providing at least some evidence of her Native American lineage, anywhere from 164th
not only
to
is
one.
YouTube affecting my feed and shows, but they want to assault my viewers with ads such as what you just seen.
1,000.
No, but kudos to him. Kudos to the fact that he's different and people are accepting of him.
124th Native American, to be exact. Tonight, the Cherokee Nation is accusing her of making a mockery out of DNA tests and its legitimate uses, while also dishonoring legitimate tribal governments and their citizens, while President Obama's 2012 campaign manager says, quote, argue the substance all you want, but why 22 days before a critical election where we must win the House and Senate to save America, why did Senator Warren have to do her announcement now? Why can't Dems ever stay focused? So this pretty much erases any doubt that Senator Warren has her eye on 2020. And then the other story that we're monitoring, what we were talking about, is, of course, these reports that Saudi Arabia is preparing to admit that they accidentally killed Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi, that it was an unauthorized interrogation gone wrong. Now, Fox cannot confirm these reports, but the president has been briefed about them. His Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, is now on his way to Saudi Arabia to meet the king and hopefully find out firsthand what happened, Sean. But a lot of moving parts on both of those stories tonight.
Yeah, very scary. You went into the consul in Istanbul, the Saudi consulate, never came out. Very frightening. All right, thank you, Kristen. Joining us now with reaction is National Security Global Affairs Analysis Morgan Ortegas, and also with us is Jessica Tarla, Fox News contributor. Morgan, you lived almost 2 years yourself in Saudi Arabia. You know it very well. They had denied it vigorously, but in fact, Khashoggi never came out of this consulate when he went in. Didn't make sense, and it's hard to believe that the stories that are emerging, again, not confirmed by Fox, that he might have been, well, an interrogation gone bad. I'm not buying it. And I'm not buying that the Saudi leadership, the Crown Prince, didn't know either.
Sean, I think you hit the nail on the head here, and that is that the Saudis in some form have been lying to the president and his team for the past 2 weeks. And I think that's crucial, where we need an answer here from the king and from the Crown Prince, Mohammed bin Salman, who called Jared Kushner and other in the administration to deny any sort of Saudi involvement. So the big thing that I'll be looking for tomorrow is, what does Secretary Pompeo get out of this? When he flew at a moment's notice, sort of an hour's notice, all the way to Saudi Arabia, halfway across the world, to deal with this story, I knew that it meant that the president meant business. He wanted to get down to the facts. This is an incredibly serious story. There are many fronts in which that the Saudis are very good partners with the United States. I worked with them very closely while I was in Saudi Arabia to curb the illicit flows of funding to al-Qaeda and other terrorist.
Who knows, right? They want the Dems to stay focused, but we need to stay focused too. 21 days from right now, you get to go out and you get to decide if you're going to give up this nation so everyone else can fuck it up in front of your face. Shit, plain and simple. 21 days. You get to decide if you were going to allow motherfuckers who don't give a fuck about you, Gonna be raping these women and these kids. And will be here while you pay for them to be here. And they're gonna fuck this country up in front of your face. And if you don't vote, then we know how you feel. And when I say vote, I'm expecting you to vote red. If the Republican Party fucks up, we gonna hold their ass accountable too. Anybody not doing what they're supposed to do, we getting their ass up out of there. But in all regards, with all due respect, they deserve a chance right now. They deserve a chance. They really do. Stay safe. Stay American. Stay healthy. And fuck the other side, bitch. We don't care.